to the computer. There we go. Anybody who's watching, this is our the Real World content team meetup, also associated with Justice for Hire because Real World's producing Justice for Hire. You can join the cast of Justice for Hire, the first show produced with the community global cast from justiceforhire.app. And you can learn more about Real World and joining the team, including investing in the company on wefunder.com/realworld. That's ReelWurld. And you'll see everything that we're doing, which is some next level stuff. And we're really, really appreciative of this wonderful community that's come around this idea to make movies and shows with the world and help 1 billion people become superheroes in movies and shows. It's gonna be great. So I'm Jan. We got Mike here from Sensei, aka Sensei Claus from Justice for Hire, but Mike is part of the content team. And yeah, we're about to start a casual meeting, and I was like, oh, let me press record. So Mike, what's going on, man? Like yeah, to answer your question, I'm eating some it's like bee pollen mixed with blueberries, granola, and muesli. I think that's how you call it. Muesli, I don't know. So it's,
yeah, I've heard it said that way.
It's I'm training a lot right now, so I'm just doing my best to stay fueled up. And just came from a kind of like a parent-teacher conference at my son's school, and so I blitzed over there. But it's really more so about like the accreditation of the school. So just like running over there, doing that, and we have this podcast tonight with Barry Navidi. I hope you can make it. Barry is. Did you?
I should be able to.
It'll be really, really wonderful. Barry is, I met Barry through a dear friend and like one of my closest friends. And Barry is just a really, really, like a real, like wonderful, centered Hollywood producer. And he's worked with, some of the biggest names of all time in cinema. And and he's been an advisor for Justice for Hire and Real World for a while. And so just to kind of get his time and to be able to expose our community to him and make like a big theme here is making our network, our network, like making the like my personal network, a Real World's network, just making it accessible to everybody. And yeah, Eric will be on in 3 minutes. So like it's, and with the theme of obviously shifting like what it means to be in Hollywood. So yeah, man, it's gonna be really dope. And if you have any questions on like that you can prepare for him, just like research him and see if there's anything that you want to ask, please go for it. It's anytime we do these podcasts, the only reason we're doing them once every other week now is because it takes so much time to do one. So, writing all the questions, shooting a promo video, editing that video, putting it out, and then actually doing the podcast, and then like putting that together and putting that out. It's essentially like a 2.5 day process. And it's, it's a long-winded way of me saying I'm doing my best to have do less and accomplish more. And so I'm just figuring out where in my schedule I can do less. And but I think these things are really, really valuable, especially right now as we're running the equity crowdfunding campaign and stuff, man. But how are you doing with in general and when it comes to the like, how did you feel with last week's production piece and et cetera? Don't mind me if I you.
Well, the thing is, you just made me think of a question I'm probably going to try for later, so I'm not going to run by you now. Hey, Eric.
Eric. Hey, man, good to see you.
So, just real quick, I'll probably have this later at the next thing, but what's your opinion on telecommuting and distance in filmmaking? Because something I've noticed being in New York is people blame COVID, but really what changed the city is the internet and this ability to telecommute and access people information that you could not before anywhere else. And is Hollywood undergoing a similar transition?
Interesting. So that's a question. That's a great question for Barry. That's a great question. One of the things that I remember conversations I had with him, food came out of my mouth. One of the conversations I had with him, Eric, we're talking about the podcast tonight at 8 p.m. your time, if you can make it. It's with Barry Navidi. He's been an advisor to Justice for Hire in ReelwUrld for many years, and he's an amazing Hollywood producer, great guy. And I was talking to him at the beginning of the pandemic, and he was like, "Yeah, I was on the phone with Leonardo DiCaprio, and it doesn't matter." He's like, "It doesn't matter if there's a $10 million check associated with the script. He's not doing it, like, because of COVID." And I just remember that conversation. And, you know, a lot of stuff is, I'm under the impression that today in New York, the mask mandate was lifted. So I'm under the impression that happens today. I don't know, but I was told that by our partner, WarnerMedia, which we're announcing in the next week. We were supposed to announce it last week, but just too much stuff going on. But we will be live in New York on November 12th. We're going to have a live JFH event with WarnerMedia at the AMC on 42nd Street in New York, with live judges in a theater, and it's gonna be nuts. So, so we're gonna announce that in the next within the next week. So we just gotta shoot a video for that, and maybe that should be the theme of our conversation today, is actually shooting content for that video announcement, because that'd be super interesting. Because I was like, man, how are we gonna do this? I'm like, I could just get punched by, like, what I was thinking for myself was I was gonna cut from, let's say, Jackie Chan. I can give you a list of all the films, but there's I can read some of them off actually right now. Actually, I have it open on my computer. I can even share the screen. Let me just share the screen. It's even better. That's how dynamic we can get. So iCloud notes. There we go. And hold on. There we go. Social, Andra, Tai Chi, Patreon, post. Okay, great. Let me just share the screen with you guys so you can see all the films that they're. It's the 10th anniversary of WarnerMedia's Urban Action Showcase. And can you guys see? So they did their call for entries last Monday. So they have to do the announcement of the JFH event. August 20th is the deadline to submit to our competition, to the competition as a whole, but to specifically our event. That's what we're focused on. November 12th is a Saturday, and that we'll have our live panel. And they'll have a bunch of judges on there. I'm not sure if we'll have to provide the judges or they will. I think they're trying to bring down like Brett Ratner and Scott Adkins. So it's gonna be a whole thing. But we're gonna get like a bunch of time to screen JFH stuff and, like, you know, really just let the community know in a more detailed way what we're really doing. But 10th anniversary films, they have Iron Fist, Tai Chi Hero, Avengers, The Dark Knight Rises, The Hunger Games. And then they have 20th anniversary for Equilibrium, Resident Evil, Undisputed, Minority Report. I mean, like, the list goes on. And this is my own, like, personal notes that I copy and pasted from his Google Doc, Demetrius's Google Doc. So there's some spacing issues. But that being said, I think a Batman film, we should pick like 5 films that we should focus on. So Batman makes sense to me. Equilibrium. Have you guys seen Equilibrium? Equilibrium is like that gunplay, the gun fu in there is like, always blew my mind when they're doing like the forms. I was just like, oh my God. And then they did the diagram that breaks down the trajectory of a bullet based on like data of like, they kind of blew my mind. Super Cop, which is really interesting, which is, I regret to say, it's one of the Jackie Chan films I have not seen. And I boycotted a lot of the Jackie Chan American releases when they came out because I thought I was better than that. I'm like, I'm not going to watch your anglicized Jackie Chan film, sir. I'm going to watch the original. I'm not watching the American import. I'm going to watch the VHS of where I can find it in Chinatown through a family friend. and I will not go to the theater. And so I missed out on like that whole era of like Rumble in the Bronx was the first one. And I just saw Rumble in the Bronx with my son 6 months ago, and it blew our minds. And I felt really bad about not going to see it in a theater. I'm like, I can't believe how good this is. What was wrong with me? I made the wrong choice. Let's see. Okay, so
There's the thing. I know I talk about Jackie Chan a lot, but people don't realize he's got a level of skill that is very, very rare. You know,
oh, yeah.
say Jet Li at his best match him for athleticism, but Jet Li, I don't think ever really directed or anything like that. It's a bit different game.
Yeah, Jackie's he's a Charlie Chaplin, you know, in his own right. And you know, I mean, can't say enough good about Jackie. But I just saw Shanghai. We just saw Shanghai Nights or Shanghai Noon, with Jackie Chan and Owen Wilson. And again, another film that I'm like, I'm never going to see that film. And it's amazing. I don't know what's going on, man. Like Around the World in 80 Days of Jackie Chan is spectacular. Another film I boycotted. I was like, I'm not watching any of his Disney-fied films. I'm not doing it. And I was just wrong each time. So the one that I haven't seen that I'm still on the fence about is the Johnny Knoxville film. Even though, like, I'm sure he's a nice guy, it just kind of seemed like the same template of Rush Hour and Shanghai Noon applied to, you know, applied during an era where star power was starting to fizzle out, which is what has happened in Hollywood. And so it's, I have not seen that yet. If you guys have seen it and I'm wrong, please tell me and I will watch it immediately.
You know, if you haven't seen the Jackie Chan movie, I would go with Little Big Soldier.
What?
Little Big Soldier?
I haven't heard of this. Googling this right now.
It's relatively new. I think it's only like 7, 8 years old. But it's one of those movies that comes across as total nonsense. Then at the end, you realize, oh no, wait, I care about this movie. It's hard to achieve.
All right, I'll totally look this up. Oh wow, it's on Pluto TV right now for free. What do you know? Not that I watch Pluto TV, but I'm saying that's great. So guys, like what would you? So I need to put together this video for Demetrius within the next few days. I would love to have it to him by the weekend so that we can release it next Monday. So if we could make this week about shooting part of a promo for this, and you know, maybe you guys could pick. I'm happy to open to any ideas here. But what I was thinking for myself, because I was still trying to figure out like what to do, was I was going to take a clip. Did you see the video I just put out 10 minutes ago, 14 minutes ago, with Barry Navidi, announcing the podcast for tonight?
I didn't see the video. I saw the announcement, but
the 28-second video. I can play it right now too. I'll just play it. Super. Hold on. Can I play it? Yeah, I can play it. Hold on. Let me know if I switch the screen if you guys see it. Can you see that?
Video? No, I'm still on the to-do list.
Okay, so let me stop the share. And go over to another share. Video details. Here we go. All right, so clicking this.
Before I interview Hollywood.
All right, great. So I'm gonna share this screen. So the intention here is to say that if we were to do something like this, except for action, where we were responding to the action, and each one of you guys picked the film, I think that might be a really great formula. Hold on, are you guys seeing it?
Yeah.
Okay, great. There we go.
Before I interview Hollywood producer Barry Navidi on Monday, I asked iconic actors Marlon Brando, Johnny Depp, and Al Pacino how it was to work with them.
You can't remember the last time that Invite him in your house for a cup of coffee.
Baron is a very busy man.
Way to get fucking tattoos on our dicks, man.
That's a great talking point.
If you tickle us, do we not laugh?
I'm tickled just hearing about it. Join us for a live Q&A with Baron Navidi on ReelwUrld's The Value Add Podcast this Monday, March 7th at 5 p.m. Pacific time.
So, like, I'm thinking about something like that, except action. You know, where if we took one of the things with Demetrius,
Stuff. We love stuff. And this.
So one of the things that Demetrius was asking for this year is to have even more structure to the instructions that we're giving people. And so I think that us doing something that's very structured, and it doesn't have to be the same thing. Like, for example, like what I just suggested, you guys don't have to do that. It's like, that's something I was thinking about for a scene that I might do, but we could all do that. But the value of that is consistency. The pro of that is consistency. The con of that is that people might think that we want them to do that, which is not what we're asking for. So what we're really asking for is for people to make scenes their own, and if possible, tie them back into the JFH story. So, and you don't have to, but I think that would be more on brand for us if we were to do that. So is there a scene, like, first of all, is there a movie that you guys are either of you guys would be interested in doing something inspired by that?
What popped into my head is having the Justice for Hire Snyder, not Justice for Hire. See, it's already in my head. The Justice League Snyder cut, where they're going through some boom tube portal and they end up in our universe, and we're like, get out, you don't belong here. And just have them walking right off, all like, what the hell? Because there's scenes we could just take their faces, cut their faces, where it's like they're looking surprised or shocked of the scene around us, and we show our background, but they have their background. To me, I'm thinking complicated, where I green screen them right into wherever we want to record it at, and just be like, no, what are you doing here? This isn't universe, get out. And just have them leave. Kind of react to, why are they here? You don't belong here. Get out of here, superheroes.
So I love that. And
I just want to create a conflict between the superheroes and us and say, hey, we got this. You're irrelevant in our universe.
So the Snyder Cut is not one of the films that they're highlighting for this anniversary, but Avengers is like the first 2012 Avengers. So there's that iconic scene shot of like the camera panning around all the Avengers finally united. And I feel like your idea can apply to that too, apply to that film, if you want to do that.
That would be pretty interesting. Would I do it where they still have their same set, their same background, and now we just impose ourselves, or one of us imposes ourselves into there, or a few of us impose ourselves into it, and they're panning around, and then we're just telling them, what the hell are you doing here, or having a conversation with them, or reacting to whatever they're supposed to be reacting to?
I mean, whatever you think, it should be action focused. So, I mean, comedy is fun. And so I think action comedy is great, but like one thing I think would be really interesting for you in your setting, because I'm looking at the texture of the background that you have. The background you have and the color tones are similar to the end credit scene of where they eat the shawarma in Avengers. And what could be really funny is you fighting off one last alien while they're all eating shawarma. Because that way you don't have to show yourself in that shot. You can literally just show them eating, and you can hear like impact and fighting sounds cut to you, and you're like, "Hey guys, can you stop eating and help me with this?" And then they're just like, like.
Right, okay. So what I see is, I have a close-up of my face and my hand punching down, and then all of a sudden it pans to them eating their shawarma, and in the background you have me, guys, you still got some more left. What are you doing? Exactly like, could you stop eating and come out here and help? Lend a hand? What's wrong with you? Something like that. But Yeah, and maybe you want just the background sound.
Well, let me
that
know what is easiest to do on your end, because, for example, if you were to do a technical pan, you would need to do After Effects or some sort of like
Yeah, I
special
get it.
effects. So, but if you're going to do a cut, then it's literally as simple as you showing a shot of yourself and then cutting to a shot of them. And if if need be, because I have to cut no matter what. So this is something where it may not be worth your time to sit there and try to cut the scene together. And it might be best if you just say, hey, you know what? I'm just going to shoot this shot and send it to me, send it to Jan. And then I can just cut it on my end because that's, it is what I just did with that little Barry clip. You know, it took me a few hours this morning because I have to go and find the highest quality clip for any one of these films, put it into can I say this? A YouTube downloader and literally pull the film from offline in the highest quality possible, and then reintegrate that into the timeline. Like, so it's a tedious process. And
So do you have the clip?
I can get it so easily, and I'm so used to this process that it may not be like, the thing to do might be that's most effective for everyone's time, because I have to cut this no matter what, is if you guys shoot your counter shots, and then I'll just cut you guys together, and then I'll send you, each one of you, your own clip so that you can have that to post on your end. So I think just seeing you like fighting an alien, and it could be a stuffed animal. It could be like literally anything. We should look at the scene, because there might be, there are scenes where we don't have to, let's say, use only shots from that film. Like, for example, you could punch and we could cut to, like, do you remember it? Not to say we should use the shot, but you remember Will Smith punching the alien in Independence Day saying, "Welcome to Earth." Like, that's a shot of a fist hitting an alien's head with no human in it. So all you see is the jacket and the fist, and it's really quick. So if we were to pull that one moment, so we see a shot of you low angle because the camera's right here, and you're like punching down. You're like, "Hey, can you guys help over here?" And then like cut to the Independence Day shot, cut to the shawarma people, the shawarma Avengers, and then you come back to you still punching down. Like, that to me is like funny. But that it doesn't have to be that. Like, like Sensei, if you want to do something that instead of an intercutting moment was you recreating a scene, or of some sort, like that could work too. So, and I can, we're not limited to these scenes, but we could. I mean, like, first of all, Eric, how does that sound for you? Would you want to redo that specific scene?
That sounds pretty cool. The shawarma scene is pretty cool, and the Independence Day, but the alien, you mean that one too, or just the general idea of using the shawarma scene as the cut to scene? And I'm just doing a reaction to fighting an alien. And
if you have something that can be an alien that you're hitting, that we don't have to do special effects on, that's great.
Yeah, do something pretty simple. Yeah, I got an alien, actually, a little gray alien that's about 3 feet tall, that I can just hold
Really?
off the ground.
That's good.
Yeah.
Well, then it's essentially a shot of you, like punching, a shot of the alien receiving the punching, or potentially like just one shot of it, or two shots.
Really punch it, or I'll break it.
Oh, it'll break. Okay.
Hard punch. I can't hit it, so I could just go full speed and just stop right at the point I hit it, or make it go past its nose or something like that.
Can you turn it?
No, it's just one major piece.
Can you turn the body? So like.
Oh yeah, I can probably maneuver that.
Check this out. Hold on, I got it. So I got this Baby Yoda here, and so if I punch Baby Yoda, and let's see, if I punch him here, he's got to turn that way. So
There
can you
you
do
go.
that? I'm just turning my wrists.
It's huge. I'll have to. Yeah, I can make it work. I can just roll it off the ground.
That's some fun stuff.
That can work. So
Okay,
I'll work
cool.
on that.
Okay,
that sounds
awesome.
kind of creepy. And punch it, and my reaction to them eating food would be little help here, guys.
Yes, something along the lines of that, like whatever you feel that essentially, if we think of
Frustration of them just relaxing, and there's still aliens that we're kicking their butts on.
exactly,
And okay, gotcha. That's enough from here.
super fun. Sensei, how for you? Like, let me just.
Oh, real quick, I have to run, unfortunately.
Okay, no problem.
I just got home. I jumped right off for the thing, but I got some stuff going on upstairs that I have to attend to. Unfortunately, I have to cut this one.
No, it's okay. So totally fine. We'll do the thunderclap at the same time on Thursday. I'll send something over, but at the very latest the day before. And
When do you need-
and if you can make the podcast tonight at 8, if you could tune in at any time within that hour and a half between 8 and 9:30, if you have time to tune in and just meet Barry. He's great.
Cool. When do you need the clip by?
If you could send the clip by, I mean,
As soon as
Thursday.
possible.
Yeah, as soon as possible. Ideally, I could cut Friday, like in the morning.
Okay,
So-
I get to you as possible.
Thank you, man. Okay, have a great night. Hopefully, we'll see you later.
Okay.
And the RSVP link or the link is on ReelwUrld.com. So you can go right there and just click events and you'll see it. And I can paste it in here if you want to.
He's good.
You got it? You're good?
He's good.
Okay. Love you, man.
Thank you.
Thank
And I
you.
apologize. Off
It's
too
all
soon.
good. It's all good, man.
Bye.
Love you. Thanks.
Good night, guys.
Here.
So Klaus, let me read down the films. Did you hear anything that resonated thus far?
Deadly Venoms.
Okay, 5 Deadly Venoms. That's great. That's awesome. So, dude, literally anything you want to do for 5 Deadly Venoms that's like, short and fun is great. And let me know if you want to workshop an idea.
So I'd have to see the movie again, but the first thing that came to me is there's a training montage where the one character, Lizard, is teaching the hero how to walk on walls. You remember that?
Vaguely, but I do remember. I think 3 of the 5 Deadly Venoms are going to be at the event too this year.
Well, that's some pressure. Well, I didn't even think about that, but the basic idea I had, like I said, if I was going to go with this one, I'd have to rewatch the movie or at least all the action scenes. But there's a montage where the hero is learning how to run on walls and all that. So I was thinking that Sensei Claw's way to do it would be have him watching the scene, trying the stuff, and just, the usual falling down some stairs, falling off a wall,
That's
Because,
hilarious.
the reality doesn't have wire fu physics.
Huh? 5 Deadly Venoms. I'm wondering, is there a? I'm wondering if the film is on YouTube. The full
I
film.
mean, I'm sure it's accessible. A lot of Chinese movies from that era are.
Yeah, but I think so. I think Celestial Pictures owns them and owns the rights. I'm pretty sure they do, or they did. And within the recent years, they've gotten really, really good at. They've gotten really good at kind of reclaiming their intellectual property that was spread across the internet and releasing like really premium, premium DVD and Blu-ray box sets. I'm looking on YouTube right now for this.
Makes sense. I mean, there's a dedicated fan community. You'd be silly not to take advantage of it. I mean, people want those box sets, so why wouldn't you sell them?
Yeah, it's interesting kind of watching the shift of the internet, like, to a place where things are becoming like very, very much more strictly monetized. So
There is that. I mean, personally, I don't mind monetization. It's more that I don't necessarily like the invasive nature of it.
yeah.
You know, it's also a bit funny when you're getting ads that are a bit too tailored to you, you know?
So question,
Quick question.
the five deadly venoms and Attack of the Five Venoms. I feel like I'm going to lose some credibility here. Those are two different films, right?
I don't think so, but I'm not, I'm like 20% sure on that.
I would assume that they are different.
I'm gonna look it up real quick.
Yeah, I'm looking. I'm just trying to find this scene that you're talking about. The walk on wall scene.
I would look up something like lizard training montage.
Lizard training.
Yeah, because that's the gimmick of the movie is the five deadly venoms are, you know, the original teacher's rogue students and the lizard's the one that's still on the level.
I don't see lizard training montage.
You know what? They are different. I looked up Attack of the Five Venoms and the description is completely different.
Yeah, then there's Return of the Five Deadly Venoms.
You know, my guess is it's probably a branding thing because the Five Deadly Venoms original movie was a big breakout hit.
Yeah.
So, you know, the guys in it became known as the Venom Mob because that's what they were known for. So my guess is the other movies are actually not really related. They just have the same cast and probably production team.
All right. So, okay. So, I mean, I love the idea. And to make this easy, you know, think about this. If we can't find, check this out. I'm going to share this screen. If we can't find that scene, because all we need to do is show that you're connecting yourself to the film. So if we can't find that scene, what if we want? I'm going to double speed this. I watch almost everything on double speed. But what if we did something like this for you? And like, for example, we zoom out from 1, zoom out from 2, zoom out from 3, and instead of zoom out from 5, because they zoom out from 5, and they zoom out to that shot, the 5 shot, where all 5 of them are standing. Why don't we zoom out on the 5th one from you? You know, standing in like a basement or whatever, you can anything that can kind of match that background as much as possible, that color texture, which even right now where you are could work, as you can see. Like, you know, there's.
I've got one white wall and I've got one brick wall.
Okay, so the brick wall. So like if we zoomed out from you, and you don't even need to do the zoom in your shot, you can just give me a full body shot, and I can zoom in and pull out from that, and then cut to, you know, they're doing their training montage, and I think each Venom is doing their own thing. So I mean, you could do your own training montage against the brick wall if you want. I feel like that, like this is, I'm just thinking about the easiest thing in terms of like accessibility. Like this scene, we have it, it's iconic, and all we need to do is somehow associate you with it.
I could maybe crack the candle stunt there.
Crack the candle?
So there was just the stunt where this guy, I think it was the lizard again, showed himself blowing a bunch of candles with his hands. I haven't done the candle punch in a few years, but I could probably do that.
Oh, right here?
Yeah, it's a lot easier with an open hand. It's harder with a fist. But I could do a few with a fist when I was trying it.
I used to, that used to be part of my like training every day is like light a candle and then like try to punch it out.
Good.
Good stuff. Dude, so let me share this scene with you here. And where is that? I'm gonna stop the share. I'll put this in the chat so you can just keep it on your side. So yeah, man, like let's do that. And if you could send me something by like Thursday night that I can cut on Friday, that'll be super helpful because that way we'll just we'll just have it all ready to go. And you could, I mean, dress up any way you want. And you can literally just put on the gi with no mask. And it would be funny from a performance standpoint. Let's say you don't have a mask that matches that aesthetic. It would be funny if you have the gi on and you're kind of like, you're looking around all the other guys, you know, when we zoom out from you or before we zoom out from you, you're like, and then zoom out, you're like, okay. And then cut to all the guys doing this other stuff and you're just like, you know, like it doesn't, I mean, it'd be cool if you can punch out the fire. Like I'm thinking about like, what is your angle performance wise on this? You know, like, are you just training and you're just part of the scene, or do you have a particular emotion? Like, what is the emotional state? Like, are you really, really into it? Like, you know, or are you nervous to be there with the 5 deadly venoms? Cause you said, oh, there's some more pressure on me. Like that to me is actually a really funny energy to bring into that. These guys are here. All right. Try it again. Hold on. Give me one more time. You know, like that kind of stuff could be fun. But again, it's really about whichever way you choose. I think it's important just for you to make an intentional decision on how you want to perform throughout the piece, because that's going to add to the viewer experience.
Gotcha. So, you know, I default to comedy. So, if I was going to try and add to it, I'd take that angle and try to recreate the stunts, but in kind of a slapstick way, you know? Like there's a bit where that one fella, I forget his name, he plays a toad in that one, is smacking in these spiked pegs, you know? And that's the gimmick, is that, you know, he is so tough, he can just do that no problem. So I think the comedic way to do that would be to have some kind of spike on my end, just kind of like, you know, poke it, that, got a comb. So, you know, imagine this is a spike, just kind of, you know, just try the stuff that works in movies, but obviously it doesn't when you're trying to recreate it in real life. So, you know.
Dude, I love that. And so what if, I mean, and you don't have to, even 2-3 shots from you is fantastic. But I'm wondering, like, would you pick one of the venoms and then do that venom stuff? Or would you, instead of doing that, you would be the 5th venom, but instead of doing whatever the 5th venom does, or you could be the 2nd venom or the 4th, but it doesn't matter. But like, instead of doing what that one does, you're looking at all the other guys and then trying to do what they're doing. It's like you just said. So in other words, we'll show the slow motion of the plates falling, and maybe you're hitting napkins falling or claws, you know, like instead of the spikes, you're touching a comb, and maybe it's a hot guy, like, you know, or a hot iron or something. So like household stuff. So essentially we would use a shot formula of cutting from what a venom is doing and then you attempting to do it too.
Yeah, I think that works.
All right, so that means so we need shot list. I'm just gonna write the shot list right now. Shot list. One is the reveal shot. Reveal, zoom out. So I'm putting with personality here. That's performance from you. Let me know if I can get more direct. And then the other shots, 2 plus recreate Venom training your own way. So essentially we need, if we had 3 shots from you, one of which is the reveal, which is, again, like I'll do the digital zoom out myself, so you don't have to worry about that on your phone. You can just place your phone somewhere and get a full body shot of yourself. Or is it full body? Let me see. How do they do this? I think they did. So it's technically called a medium shot. It's a medium wide shot. So a medium wide shot is from the kneecaps up. So if you could frame yourself 4 shot 1, frame yourself kneecaps up. So if essentially you get knees to the head, like that'll be perfect.
Yeah.
And you would do your whole performance in there. And you can look at the camera if you want. If that was your performance, I like however you want your performance to be. Yeah. So essentially, we would need 3 shots from you to make that work, because we'll intercut. 3 shots is going to become, probably 7 or 8. Because I'll intercut the other Venoms, some of the other Venoms, just to make the montage work.
Probably, yeah, and we'll see what recreations work visually.
Awesome, man. And it could be in character too. It could be like Beowulf, Professor Beowulf. It could be Sensei Claus. It could be either of those. But I think that if it was just you with your, just the gi on with no mask, that could be also could work really, really well.
I think I'd try Sensei Claus just because, again, it's kind of a mean character. Professor Beowulf, there's a thing where he doesn't work as well for this because I like to put his stuff in grayscale.
Okay.
That's part of the joke. He's a comedy character too, but a very different way, where I think I've told you, back when we were getting all this fitness stuff on Instagram and YouTube, I was thinking it'd be really funny if one of these guys was like a 1920s bodybuilder, with the mustache and leotard and all of that. So that's where that character came from. So
okay, so Sensei was likely the one you'll go with.
yes.
Okay, so dude, I mean, this is I'm really, really excited for this. I'm really, really excited for this. So I was trying to figure out, my man, how are we gonna cut this video? Like, what are we gonna do? I'm like, I don't know. And so thank you, man. This is great. Let's end the meeting here for today, because I have more posting to do before the event starts in 44 minutes.
Yeah.
But I hope to see you on the event, man. And I think that your question for Barry about telecommuting in Hollywood, I think is really, really interesting.
Let's get one last thing about the Deadly Venoms. I saw an interview years before I even saw the movie with Long Ting did choreography. And this kind of inspired me. I hate to use the word inspired, but inspired me because his take, what made the movie interesting to him, was that he got to recreate fictional martial arts based on realistic ones. The example he gave was one of the Venoms, the centipede. The centipede has, 100 arms. So his idea was to base off of Wing Chun because it's something that has rapid punching. And if you see the other styles of the Venoms, there's always something, if you're enough of a nerd, you can track back to and think, oh, that's based off of this. But it gave me a very interesting idea on the method to the madness of creating a fictional martial art.
Wow. Wow. I think I think when you have I think it's going to become a very powerful document when you have your fictional martial art like mapped out, because it'll, it's the kind of thing that the gun kata in Equilibrium, or the water bending, or earth, the earthbender. No, what are they? There's a sport in Avatar, the Korra, the Legend of Korra, and it's this like this bending sport, and it's so well mapped out. So many of the games that they play in that series, Avatar: Last Airbender and Legend of Korra, they're like really mapped out games. And so I think that when people do that with fictional stuff, it just makes the world so much richer. So I think it'll be a big deal, man.
Well, the one I made up for Sensei Claus is really more conceptual. Where I think I explained the diagram to you one time. It's less a real martial art and more realistic concepts. The idea that I wanted to put out there wasn't to make traditional martial arts more accessible. If anything, it's more Professor Beowulf thing. The idea I wanted to put out there was to help people who are already doing martial arts understand them better. Yeah, I know you have to go, but that's what matrixing is all about, and the core concept of it that I took from this other guy, Al Case, but I applied differently.
The core concept of matrixing?
Yeah. So years ago, I remember we were in New York Sonda, and I showed you a napkin I scribbled on.
Yeah.
The concept of matrix is, a Boolean graph that combines inputs.
Yep.
So the idea there is that everything that happens in some kind of order. And given a finite number of inputs, there are a finite number of ways it can happen. So that's the original idea behind matrix as applied to martial arts, where, again, I took it from Al Case. His idea was to matrix different actions and reactions and such. So then you have a complete list of all possible combos and such, with the less effective ones generally weeded out. What I did was, instead of a matrix of actions, I made a matrix of distances. And that's what Sensei Claus martial art is based off of. But again, it's not really a martial art in and of itself. It's more just a way to get people it's a way to trick people to think of the martial arts a little bit deeper.
Interesting. Dude, I want to have even more brain space to absorb this. I was just looking up different matrixing processes, and I got like a big Google response, and I was like, oh, I can't do this right.
Yeah, no, not tonight, but when you have time, look up Monster Martial Arts, Al Case, or Matrix Karate, anything like that.
Matrix Karate?
Yeah, you'll get a bunch of YouTube videos of this funny guy from California. He's actually one of Sensei Claus's influences. The character's partially based off him, like 25% maybe.
Matrix Karate.
Yeah, you'll see a funny old guy in a goofy, in karate pajamas or something. And he'll explain how to do things correctly and all that. I don't agree with him on everything, but I like the way he thinks.
Dude, I'll totally check it out. I'm seeing a lot of The Matrix, but I will take a deeper look.
Yeah, so he came first. It's an unfortunate thing. The Matrix came out in the 90s, and he's been selling this stuff since the 80s. So, it's just that sometimes it happens to you when you're in this field.
Dude, I will check it out, man. I'm grateful for you, dude. I got to jump and do this posting rapid fire. But I love you, man. I'll see you in hopefully in 38 minutes.
Yeah. Good luck.
Okay, man. Love you, dude. Thanks again.
Take care.
Oh, do you want to? Hopefully you copied. Did you copy the chat?
Yep. I'm gonna paste it right now to make sure that I've got it right, but yep, that works.
Awesome, man. Love you, dude. I'll end now.
You too. Take care.
Yeah. Do you have it all? Can I press end?
Yeah, I got it.